the importance of being Dearness. Well, we're stealing JJ's lines now? That's good. I like that. We're clever. You're not getting any dumb headlines. That's good. And if you don't know what that means, you better ask somebody. There you go. And again, look, you knew that whoever was going to be the guy in Cleveland with that offensive line and that commitment to the run was going to be valuable in fantasy. It wasn't a secret. You know, he got picked up in every league, but he delivered for you way above his prop of 59.5 rushing yards. He gave you a $146 and a touchdown. Yeah, you know who told you what to do? Jamey Eisenberg, because if you listen to him, you win. It's pretty simple. Let's start with Dearness Johnson. Okay, like you knew everybody grabbed him off waivers, and we were hoping that maybe he, there's a lot of buys this week, a lot of running backs that are injured. He came through. Do you just play him until either Chubb or Hunt comes back and then sit him until further notice? Is it that cut and dry? Do you see a different role for him?
No, I think you do, and to be honest, DK, I didn't expect him to be this good. I thought with the quarterback change, like you mentioned, the offensive line being a concern, the wonder of what Odell Beckham would be and how healthy Jarvis Landry would be, I thought the Broncos would be able to, contain him a little bit. And so this was an impressive performance. And so we'll see what happens. More importantly, like you said, when one of the guys is back. We know Kareem Hunt's going to be out for an extended period of time, but what happens when Nick Chubb is back? Because they have used a two-back system. They have relied on, two guys to carry the load there. So can he still be productive a la what Kareem Hunt has been in tandem with Nick Chubb? But if you're the Browns, you have the luxury now of taking your time with Nick Chubb, making sure that calf injury is 100%, so he doesn't have the extended absence that Kareem Hunt is dealing with right now. So absolutely, as long as he's the solo act, you're starting him in every league moving forward.
Browns do play the Steelers. They will get 10 days. It may be a little bit of a different defense, although Denver is supposed to have a very stout defense, and they got lit up on the ground, didn't tackle very well either. Is there anybody else? I mean, that's sort of the good. There's a lot of bad. There's a lot of kind of yuck lines across the board. Guys will have bad games. Is there anybody that you're now really worried about that was sort of highly touted on one of these two teams where you're like, okay, now it's been week 7. We got to be really, concerned here?
I never thought we'd be saying this, but you're dropping Odell Beckham. There's no reason to hold him at this point, especially once we get past this week and all the buys. He's just not getting the job done. He's clearly not healthy. This offense, though, is just not suited for him. And the days of Odell Beckham being a star fantasy receiver are probably gone. The days of him now being a starting fantasy receiver are probably gone as well. And so, I hate to say this, but when we get to Tuesday, I put the players in there that you're dropping, and he's probably going to be on that list. Not for the first time. He's been there already. So, you thought, okay, maybe no Jarvis Landry for the last couple of weeks. He would come through and deliver. Now with the backup quarterback and knowing that they're going to be even more conservative, it's just now time to move on from Odell. And it's a very frustrating and kind of sad thing because he's been such a great fantasy asset for so long. All
right, you've been really good with the start of the week, including last week where you picked the Kansas City Chief running back. Shh, don't tell anybody. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is out now. I know a lot of people picked him up, but they weren't sure what he could actually give you. Would it be a time split? Would Jared McKinnon jump in? And you were like, nope, that's your guy. Take Williams and run for the hills, and he was terrific. Who's the start of the week this week?
It's Matt Ryan. And again, with all the quarterbacks who are missing, no Dak Prescott, no Josh Allen, no Justin Herbert. There's a lot of key guys that are missing on a bye. And so fantasy managers are scrambling. And you look at Matt Ryan, and he's coming off a strong game in London, coming off their bye week. He's getting Calvin Ridley back. He finally got Kyle Pitts going. Now, there is a little concern with the Dolphins getting their corners back. Xavier Howard and Byron Jones going through practice. We'll see if they're going to be fully healthy come this weekend. But I think Matt Ryan's in a groove right now, and the Dolphins just don't have a pass rush that's going to harass him. So Russell Gage is back also, so it's full complement of weapons. What Cordero Patterson has been doing. I hope the Dolphins' offense shows up. The Falcons don't have a defense, so maybe we get a shootout between Matt Ryan and Tua Tagovailoa. But I think Matt Ryan's got top 10 upside this week and maybe even top 5 upside. He's averaging 25 fantasy points per game in his last 4. Dolphins giving up 25 fantasy points per game to opposing quarterbacks on the season. He gets to that mark, he's going to have a good week.
Well, as a Pitts and Cordell Patterson owner in my home league that I care about, these are phrases you hear all the time, that makes me very, very, very happy. It always makes me happy to talk to Jamey. Thank you very much. Appreciate the time, bud.
You got it.
All right, you want more Jamey, need more Jamey, we have more Jamey. Fantasy football today. One of our great family of podcasts. You download, you follow, you enjoy. Oh, by the way, wait till you see what.
Want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis. No yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.